right, so moving forward, we're going to talk or discuss Amy Cox versus Rodney Creech. They are running for, let's see, Ohio House District 43, which covers all of Preble County as well as parts of Montgomery County, including Brookville, Clayton.
Oh, you can forget about that.
The great city of Trotwood.
They're not going to win.
No, actually, see that part.
Vandalia and parts of that
That part is not. But that part's not true because 54% of
I
that
work with
district.
them boys. I know them. They ain't
54% of Amy Cox's district is Democratic. 46% is not.
County?
Yes. But Preble County is not as heavily populated as areas of Trotwood and Harrison Township.
Yeah. All right.
You know,
you're right.
but the reason why a Republican has been able to carry 43 is because it's had some pretty good help in Harrison Township and Trotwood.
Oh yeah.
Republican parties had really good help with getting their candidates out.
I understand.
It's so important that people in this district vote for Amy Cox.
Yes, please.
You have to vote for Amy Cox. If you don't vote for her for any other reason other than the fact that Creech got on TV and said that he didn't really believe that racism and discrimination was real. I mean, what kind of, that's not a Republican value either, just so you know that. No. So that's not a Republican value. That's just a misinformed value.
Who said that?
The person, Rodney Creech said that. Said that he doesn't believe that. I don't believe all of this stuff is really real. Like, that's just not. It's disingenuous. And then she spent a lot of her time in a place where she was a school teacher.
Right.
So she spent a lot of her time in education, being with children and stuff like that. And anybody who takes that leap of faith, and she was a teacher in urban districts, a lot of urban districts, spent a lot of her time there. So, you know, but you know, you're right though. Like what you said is right. It's like, man, they got Preble County and Brookville and all. There's no way she's winning. But if people would get off of their butts and go vote, then she would have an opportunity to win. She definitely would.
Right, and we actually met her at the rally. She was at the rally out here.
Shout out to the Trotwood Police.
Yeah, and shout out to the Trotwood Police
for keeping us safe.
For keeping us safe and allowing us to protest peacefully.
Teaching your counterparts in the areas that are around you how they're supposed to treat black people.
How they're supposed to treat
Since
black
they
people.
They don't really know. I've been put over in Inglewood quite a bit.
Inglewood.
Because our little
Green County.
I just stabbed them places.
But she did come to the rally. You know, she expressed her concern. She expressed her support. You know, and you know, she was genuine. You know, a genuine candidate, and that's what I liked about her. And plus, like you said, she's an educator. I wholeheartedly feel that educators are a different breed of people, because, like you said, it's a leap of faith to go into that profession and that career field, because it's very little payoff, very little payoff. So I'm all for it. She has my vote, and I like to see what she can do if we can get her in there. But in regards to, you know, Mr. Creech, I just want to go over some of his views. He is pro-life and does not believe abortion is ever the answer. He does not believe it is the government's responsibility to ensure everyone has a livable income. He believes governments should define marriage as between one man and one woman. So he's basically interfering with, you know, anybody else who wants to get married, which I'm not in support for. If you want to get married, get married. If you want to get a divorce, get a divorce. I think everybody should be entitled to the misery that marriage brings, whether you're gay or straight. He does not believe it's the government's responsibility to ensure.
I didn't know this is an anti-marriage podcast.
No, it's not, but
somebody needs to let me know these things.
I don't do contracts with cell phones or women. Damn that marriage. None of that.
Jesus, okay. He does not believe it's the government's responsibility to ensure everyone has health insurance. That's kind of rough, you know what I'm saying? And again, you know, the money machine that is insurance, you know, I mean, this is a clear, you know, check mark in that box and be in support of that.
Bordering on socialism now, that's a bad word.
He is in favor of constructing the wall. State and federal funds should be denied to any public or private entity, including sanctuary cities.
The wall's not done yet?
No.
Mexico didn't pay? No, my buddy at work told me the wall was already done. They just don't report it on the news because they don't want to make sure.
They probably got about 100 feet of walls.
They said the wall is done. Mexico
it is done. It's done because Mexico was like, no, we're not paying for it.
Mexico paid for that shit. I promise they did. Hey, my buddy, this the same one that I'm not gonna start dragging him on here. He's funny though. He believes a lot of that Trump shit.
Don't believe that Trump shit, y'all. Trump don't even believe his own Trump shit. But back to Mr. Creech. He opposes adding sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression as protected classes and non-discrimination laws. My thing is, if you can be discriminated, if one person can be discriminated against, then that means everybody can be discriminated against.
Read that again for the women. Read that again for women.
Opposes adding sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression as protected classes of non-discrimination laws.
So let's go. Let's take that a little bit further. That means that he also doesn't believe in equal pay for women. If you believe that, if you don't believe that there should be protected class because of gender, then you don't believe that women should be paid equal.
That's not how I heard that. I heard he's saying no protection for like
the LGBTQ.
alphabet.
Yeah. Which I'm not for.
No,
I'm not
what
for,
it
man.
says,
Yeah.
though.
I mean,
because that falls up under women protection too.
I mean, my thing is,
because if you say you don't believe that it should be law that you can't discriminate because of sex, gender. That means women.
I thought
that means women too.
I don't know.
Women. That means.
I thought that was a shot at the LG.
That means I'm a hiring manager. I take a pass at a woman, but she's qualified. But I don't like the way she responded to my pass. Now I don't have to hire her because she's a woman and I don't want to hire her.
Not only that, but yeah, it does cover, somebody being gay, being discriminated against. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody's gay doesn't mean that they can't do a job or should be.
I'm
you know what I'm saying?
Discriminating them,
but that's what
they always dress it up as. We don't want to give them special treatment because they're trans or whatever.
But who's saying that? The people that are saying that in them laws are the same white people in power who said the same thing about us, who said the same thing about Mexicans, Asians, indigenous people, and now it's just them. I mean, the people in power are powerful white men who are writing these laws and saying this stuff. So now it's a new group that they can, we gonna discriminate against them as well. And I'm not for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a straight black man in America, I'm not for anybody being discriminated against. You know what I'm saying? I think it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Especially the people who have the power to discriminate against somebody are the same people who have the power to discriminate against me if they so feel the need. So that's my view on that. And yeah, Mr. Creech appears to be for that. So yeah, that's another reason why you may want to reconsider voting for him if you are actually considering voting for him.
One thing about his base though, that's why he's making that his policy, because they feel the same way. Like that's one of their smoke and mirrors. Like while they're robbing you, emptying your pocket, they're saying, but don't let them dudes use the girls' bathroom, or don't let them homos marry each other. Like they use that as like this is a distraction.
Right.
Like don't worry about the fact that we're gonna raise your taxes and give it to the rich. Don't worry about that.
Well, I mean,
just know that we are gonna protect your guns and shit.
Part of his base probably thinks they're gonna be impacted by the Biden tax. Biden's gonna raise my tax. Man, you ain't seen $400,000 in your life.
I ain't never seen.
How are you gonna?
I'm talking about like your whole career. You probably won't make $400,000. Right? Like, you making $30,000 a year, but like, I don't know.
That's crazy. I don't know. But like, touch on what you had said when asked, is racism a threat to domestic security in the United States? His quote was, "I don't think it is. I think some people try and make it a much larger issue than it really is."
Which also plays to his base.
Yeah, to downplay racism in America as, not being a problem, that shows you.
I really think we're preaching to people that already decided, man. Like when you start talking about race, like Trump hit it dead on the head. He said some shit that everybody tried like they didn't hear, but when he talked about his reason for getting rid of the cultural compliance or whatever they call it, racial sensitivity shit,
right.
He said because there's been a reversal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that shit on TV and everybody was like, oh, that wasn't nothing. He was talking about, no, these motherfuckers want to be on the same plane as us and we can't have that shit. Like, and that's what they're really supporting. They won't say, they're going to come up with Benghazi and emails and a bunch of other stupid shit. But really, they're supporting that we ain't going for that reversal shit. And you can't talk to people out of that. If they believe that's a bad thing, equality. They booed equality on the first game of the fucking NFL season. That was Trump pansies. You know who that was. They booed equality. The word equality is on the Ohio State Buckeyes helmets. They're furious. They're furious about it. Like, I've been a lifelong Buckeye fan, and I'm gonna fucking like nobody give a fuck that you leaving.
Well, I think we're not really addressing the Trump pansies. Like, I think the focus of this is really to educate people who just check the boxes of the familiar name, so you have a better understanding of who we're putting in power and what they're going to have the power to do. And
Donald Trump is a familiar name. He's different. You know, I don't understand. You know, you guys, white privilege. You talk about white privilege. Donald Trump's picture should be in the dictionary when it comes to white privilege. You know, a lot of these politicians, man.
Yeah. You know, and in the end, that's what we have to remember. They are politicians. They're playing a game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, we won't wish any ill will on them or their family. But in regards to the job and the job that they do, I mean, we can't criticize that. And that's what we're doing today.
And those of you who don't believe that it's important to vote, the way that you hold them accountability to their job is with your vote and your power to vote. You know, and that's just what it is.
You empower yourself through voting, especially locally, yo. This is what affects you and your children and your family for the next decade. You know?
Hey, look, I'm a person with pre-existing conditions. So any local politician, and then now it's going to be millions of people with it because of COVID-19. So I'm a person who looks at what a candidate is saying about healthcare. And the people that we've talked about, where are they at on healthcare? Creech says that he doesn't believe that the government should provide it. Mike Turner has voted to repeal and replace the Affordable Health Care Act, which would kick 40 million people off and make people with pre-existing conditions, they could be discriminated against, because that is a form of discrimination.
It's definitely a form of discrimination.
So, you know, you talk about women's health, you know, gutting the Affordable Health Care Act, it really takes a big time hit on women's health. You talk about Trump pansies and people who are impacted, who don't even understand how important the Affordable Health Care Act to them, co-workers, who there are millions of dollars worth of laws written into the Affordable Health Care Act that have protections for co-workers that they have failed to address because it is also a pre-existing condition. You know, politicians only are able to control us if we remain ignorant to what they're talking about having us do, and that's not party based. That's not Democrat or Republican. That's just how it is.
Right.
You know, because in our community, the Democratic Party has some blood on their hands.
Yep.
With things that have happened in the black community as well.
Yeah.
I don't understand the whole kind of like I see a lot of shitting on the Democrat. That's like the thing to do.
I think that's just a movement.
Yeah, and I like talking about we've been giving them our vote for X amount of years, and what has it gotten? And so what did you want it to get you? Checking a box is not going to change your shitty job tomorrow. Like, you need to get a better job. I don't know what they think voting. Like, going to the poll is not going to magically change your life.
Nope.
But it can remove some of the fucking barriers to
our representatives in government. What voting should do is we should be able to hold our representatives in government, regardless of party, accountable for what things that are being done in our communities.
Yeah.
Like, we should know what Creech's stance is on the state of Ohio lowering the local government funds for cities. What's he believe in that? What's he say to that? We should know that from Mike Turner. Does he think that it's right that they lower local government funds like they did back when John Kasich was the governor of Ohio? Right. And people who say, "Oh, the Democratic Party, you know, they've taken our vote for granted for so long." Well, they don't really know how the law works. Yeah, well, I know we ain't supposed to talk about Ice Cube. He don't really know how it works either, because the president of the United States doesn't impact any kind of economic stimulus plan for any community. The House of Representatives does.
Right.
So if you don't have the votes to get the black agenda or whatever the fuck that bullshit he's calling it, if you don't have the votes to get that off, it doesn't matter. You can talk to the Trump administration as much as you want. And he did put his hand in his back and play him like a puppet. Right. Hey, I've seen these politicians even locally do that to some people.
I never understood Cuba saying that. We're not talking about Cuba.
We need to have this discussion though, man. We need to talk about how government actually works. If you're going to get law enforced, you have to control the seats that are up underneath the president. Everybody's like, man, President Obama, man, he didn't do nothing his second term. Like, he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, because all they worried about voting.
Literally blocked Merrick Garland from being on the Supreme Court.
Right.
Same people that just pushed this lady through were the ones who were saying, well, there's no way a president in an election year should be picking up.
Do y'all remember that? Do you remember when they said that?
Of course they remember. It doesn't matter.
It's like, but now, 38 days before an election, you push a justice. It's the biggest hypocrisy in American politics, and
the
nobody talks about
and
it.
the Corona money been off since July.
Right.
They can't get that figured out.
And that, you know what, man, and you talk about how your government works and stuff like that. And another thing that Desiree has done, she's reached out to entrepreneurs about how to, and I know this because I work in the industry. She's reached out to some entrepreneurs about how they could get access to PPP funding. I don't recall getting any of those calls from Mike Turner, and he was one of the people who voted for those things. How do minority businesses get access to PPP?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because minority businesses didn't get the money that they were supposed to get.
No,
if
they
they didn't have somebody that was on the inside looking out for them,
You didn't get shit.
you didn't get anything. You know, and that also comes
That's
with
a
the lack
direct
of
result
information, the lack of knowing.
people not voting too.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, 'cause
It
you got people who's not looking out for you in there. When the money comes in, they say you distribute it. They're not gonna give it to you.
Right. And then people
Big
go.
surprise, he's a Republican in the end. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, you know.
Kasich is their second favorite. You know, like when you want to pretend like you're an independent thinker. Well, I kind of like Kasich's policy.
Kinda
You
like
know, man,
him.
shut the fuck up, clown. Like I don't understand.
You know, yeah. I mean, he is what he is as well. You know what I mean? He's like he is. He
He's a
definitely
union
is. He also
Republican
blew
piece of shit.
a lot of people's pensions too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like let's not forget he blew those pensions. He also stopped that rail train from coming through Ohio.
Right.
That would have generated millions
Lots
of
of
jobs,
them.
millions of dollars in revenue to communities like this.
Shut that shit down.
You know, so yeah, I mean here, yeah,
I've been doing sober October too.
that's good. For
I
me.
haven't.
Life is boring as hell.
I drank wine with a
Getting a lot
friend
of
for the
shit
first
done
time, you know, earlier in the month for a long time.
Sober October is the worst idea ever.
It is. I know we're supposed to do it
What
together.
does it?
but I
What does
kinda
it
forgot.
entail? Like,
I mean, just alcohol. Whoa. Let me clarify it. Just alcohol. I'm doing everything else. Though. I ratcheted all that shit up to compensate. Sober October is kicking my ass though.
Crazy. All right, so the final little topic we want to address today is Rhonda Jackson versus Phil Plummer for District 49 seat. Let's see. Now, in regards to Plummer, I did some research on him. I don't know if they got like a Republican copy machine where all these people just think the same thing, but he's basically mirroring exactly what Creech says in regards to, you know, race issues, being, you know, pro-life, you know, being anti, you know, health care, affordable insurance for everybody, for affordable living wages for everybody. I mean, he mirrors almost everything that Creech says, and it's amazing. When I was reading this, like, God damn, did they copy off each other? Like it's like looking over at each other's papers and stuff.
who donated to him? Who donated to their campaigns? That'll tell you why they had the same.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Plummer, he's got the police in his back
Oh, well,
pocket.
yeah, he's the former sheriff.
Former sheriff, so we got Powell and all them. But when asked the 3 areas of legislation that he proposed to author or sponsor if elected, he said lowering taxes, proper treatment for people suffering from mental health, and the attack on the drug problem. I mean, these answers are basically like copy and paste answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, very cookie cutter. Yeah, lowering taxes. How? Where? How are we going to do it? Yeah, exactly, man. We've been hearing that lowering taxes shit since George Bush Sr. You know what I'm saying? The proper treatment of people suffering from mental health. I'm all for that.
Well,
you know, I'm all for that. But I mean,
where was his concern for mental health issues when he was a sheriff?
exactly.
For the rich.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think because it's a hot topic, because people are recognizing mental health in America.
Can we just call it what it is?
Bullshit.
No, we're gonna call it exactly what it is. The reason why drugs in the community are now considered a mental health emergency is because now it's not just impacting black people on the west side of Dayton.
Smoking crack.
Now smoking crack. Now it's a problem because it's in communities that are white communities.
Beaver Creek.
They're in
Green County.
That's on the
they're
East
in-
End too, though. I think.
Yeah, but I'm
opioid
saying,
shit is getting
but
people
it's
that matter.
opioid
Yep.
stuff. Yeah, the
Getting-
opioid epidemic is now touching
Yeah, heroin,
populations
all that. Yeah.
that aren't supposed to be exposed to some of those
I don't
things.
think they cared
Go
about
back
poor white
to-
people either.
Go back to law, right? Now all of a sudden they don't want, they're gonna save suburban women. You know, that's part of that speech
Right.
right there. You know, like, so that's why it's a problem now.
And the thing is, they don't care about, like you said, they don't care about poor white people
'cause
either.
crackers on
But
the
the
East
poor
End.
white people don't
Yeah.
understand that. They don't understand that half the time. You know what I'm saying? That they're in the same goddamn boat as the rest of us. You know, and they know that they can get that vote by
They're
saying,
looking at them like, you're above them guys. And they keep believing that shit. Hey, you know.
I'm saying, what I'm saying is, when you said they're in the same boat as us, I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah. Hey,
And the reason why is because the law
yeah,
is not
you in a
interpreted.
poor boat, but you won't get murdered, for speeding.
Yeah,
you know,
I could be the richest
you
black
see-
man and get stopped on a highway.
get murdered.
And if I reach to get my ID, they can
They
shoot
be
me
like,
in my back
they be
and
like,
go
man,
free.
he was 6'6". I had to.
I was scared. I was
Yeah,
fear about for my life.
Right, big scary dude.
He's a big guy. He was getting out of the
Yeah,
car.
he made a furtive movement.
And then they'll talk about
Google that
the one.
shit.
They'll
That's a
talk
real
about the
thing.
one time I hung out with Wayne.
Yeah,
He used to hang out with
With
thugs.
that fucking dread. All the fucking
Yeah,
police fucking
right.
post on Facebook. Back
That's
to
his
Sober
friend.
October. This shit sucks. Like, have you seen my posts? They're much more mild these days, though. Like, seriously. I haven't had a shirtless incident in public in like 3 weeks. Which is terrible because I'm in fucking porno shape right now because I ain't drinking. I got like 5 abs right now. When I wake up, I got 6. If I take the shit, I might have 7. Like, first thing in the morning. Sober October, baby.
There's only one way to get abs like that.
No, not 8 abs, 7. I have 7 abs. 8 is the cutoff. There's only one way to get 8 abs, and we know what that is.
Hilarious.
Sober fucking October. Don't ever do it.
Back to plumber. As we segue back to plumber. There's one other topic in regards to plumber. When asked if racism is a threat to domestic security in the United States, he said, "We all should improve race relations." That sounds like that sounds like something like
niggers.
like hey, behave and y'all racist too. That's what I hear. You know what I'm saying? Like it's redirecting the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's what that and as a sheriff of a former sheriff, you know what I'm saying, you would hope that he would have more insight.
Hey guys,
to racial issues.
we all got to stop hating each other.
Find people on both sides.
Yeah, there's fine people
Very
on
fine
both
people
sides.
on both sides.
Not so many on that black side,
Yeah.
though, But yeah, again, you all think about who you're voting for. Think about the fact that every time you don't vote, you relinquish the little bit of power that you have as an American citizen. People fought and died for that right, and it's basically downplayed nowadays because it's the cool thing to do. Get out there and vote. You know what I'm saying? Do your ancestors proud. Do your descendants proud. Because again, you voting, you not voting can impact, your children. And who you vote for can definitely impact your children. So think about that next time you're sitting on the couch and you see that political campaign ad, I'm not voting anyway. Think about what we discussed today.
My homie told me, and he's not an idiot by any stretch, that voting was almost like some compliant kiss the ring type shit. And I was like, it couldn't be further from that. Like they used to try to kill you for voting. You had to be a bad motherfucker to march your ass in there and vote.
The 5 questions that you used to have to answer wasn't no easy.
He said kiss the ring. I was like bruh, that couldn't be further from the truth. But I don't know. Somehow somebody needs to make a rap song about it, like the Stallion or somebody.
I thought
vote with your
what was
bitch
the guy,
ass.
the Yellow Pain guy. The Yellow Pain guy made a hit, and I don't think half y'all really understood what he was talking about. Still,
it's got to be somebody that matters. It's got to be Meg Thee Stallion.
You gotta be Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B.
Like vote with your bitch ass. That's what it should be called. I bet they'll fucking go right to the poll.
Crazy. All right, so yeah, we're gonna end it here. All right,
I'm done.
But yeah, get out there and vote. Express yourself. And yeah, we'll see y'all next time.
That was long.
I make my way through the great old state, gliding like I'm a roller skate with dudes who works Section 8s, while y'all lummies just work the block off a minimum wage. But if you was smart, you knock off your boss and get you a raise. So fire away, here come the heavyweights with the Mo-Dog stats batch, but I ain't Lorenz Tate. In fact, I'm a wolf that run with the pack up in the middle of the woods, leaving footprints on your back. And